Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving into a deeply personal and creative home decor challenge, styling my entire home using only heirlooms and thrifted finds. That means no store-bought decor, no trendy retail purchases, just meaningful items passed down through generations or lovingly rescued from secondhand shops. This is more than just a styling experiment. It's a celebration of character, history, and sustainability. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's explore how beauty and soul can emerge from forgotten treasures and cherished family keepsakes. Before we jump in, here's how I structured the challenge. I could only use items I already had, inherited, or sourced from thrift stores, flea markets, estate sales, or antique shops. No big box stores, no online shopping carts. I wanted every piece in my home to carry a story, to have a life before it came into mine. This was about more than saving money. It was about slowing down and reconnecting with the soulful side of decor. Each item needed to add both function and emotional depth to the space. The heart of my home, the living room, became the ultimate canvas for this challenge. I started with a beautiful antique wooden coffee table passed down from my grandmother. Its worn edges and subtle carved details added instant charm. I paired it with thrifted velvet accent chairs in a deep forest green, which I found for under $4 each. Throw pillows were made from old fabric remnants gifted by a neighbor, and I even repurposed a vintage steamer trunk as a side table. Everything felt intentional, cozy, and full of stories. For the living room wall, I created a gallery using only vintage frames I've collected over the years. Some were thrifted, others were inherited, and all were unique. I filled them with black and white family photos, hand-pressed flowers, and even old postcards from the 195s. The variety in frame styles, patinas, and textures gave the wall so much character. It's now a living memory board that sparks conversation every time someone visits. The best part? It didn't cost me a cent, just time and heart. Lighting is key in creating ambience, and I made it a mission to find unique, non-store-bought options. I rescued 2 brass table lamps from a local thrift store and rewired them myself. Then, I installed a vintage crystal chandelier that once hung in my gray tant's dining room. After a little TLC, it now casts a warm, romantic glow. These lighting choices don't just illuminate my space, they illuminate memories. Their imperfections and patina make them far more beautiful than anything mass-produced. In the kitchen, I leaned into the charm of mismatched, well-loved items. My open shelves now display vintage blue and white china, all thrifted or inherited. I grouped old glass canisters, antique cutting boards, and ceramic crocks to create warmth and functionality. Even my kitchen towels are made from repurposed linens passed down from family. This space now feels like a well-worn cookbook, familiar, comforting, and entirely one of a kind. It reminds me that beauty often lies in imperfection and everyday use. My dining area is where stories are shared, so I filled it with items that tell their own. The dining table was my parents' wedding gift from the 70s, lovingly refinished with natural wax. I surrounded it with mismatched vintage chairs, all thrifted, and reupholstered the seats using leftover floral fabric. The centerpiece? An antique ironstone pitcher filled with dried flowers from last autumn. Even the candle holders came from a garage sale. This table isn't just for meals, it's for memory making. My bedroom became a sanctuary of softness and history. The bed itself is an heirloom iron frame, passed down from my great-grandparents. I layered it with quilts made by my grandmother, vintage pillowcases found in a thrift bin, and a hand-knitted throw from a local craft fair. The mismatched nightstands were both secondhand, one painted a soft cream, the other left raw and rustic. It's the kind of room that invites rest and whispers stories of the past as you drift off to sleep. Textiles added soul to every room. I used lace curtains from an estate sale, floral drapes inherited from my aunt, and hand-woven rugs picked up at a church thrift event. These old fabrics are full of texture and time. They add warmth and richness no store-bought piece could replicate. There's a feeling you get when a curtain sways and you know it once hung in someone else's sunlit home decades ago. It's grounding and inspiring all at once. Even the bathroom got a little heirloom love. I added an old wooden mirror with hand-carved details, which I found tucked away in my parents' attic. A wire basket from a flea market holds rolled towels, and glass apothecary jars from the 194's house my cotton balls and bath salts. Even the art, a hand-painted floral sketch from a yard sale, adds a quiet, elegant touch. It's proof that small spaces deserve big character, and even utilitarian rooms can tell a story. The entryway sets the tone for the home, and I wanted mine to reflect warmth and heritage. I styled a thrifted console table with a vintage tray, an antique mirror, and an old bowl to catch keys. A basket beneath the table, originally a picnic hamper from the SXS, now holds shoes. It's cozy, welcoming, and filled with subtle reminders that this house has layers. Even the welcome mat was a secondhand treasure, scrubbed clean and made new again. A major part of this challenge was creatively repurposing items. An old ladder became a blanket rack. A drawer from a broken dresser turned into a rustic wall shelf. A cracked teacup found a second life as a jewelry holder. These kinds of transformations are not just sustainable, they're magical. They force you to see beyond the original purpose and embrace the possibilities. It's like turning forgotten things into functional art, and it makes the home feel truly curated and loved. Many of the pieces I used are sentimental. A clock that once ticked in my grandfather's den, a rocking chair where my mother used to read to me, even a tarnished silver tray that served countless family holidays. These objects may be old, but they pulse with emotion. They connect me to the people and places I love. Decorating with heirlooms isn't about achieving a certain look. It's about surrounding yourself with meaning, history, and a deep sense of belonging. One of my favorite parts of this challenge was the thrill of the hunt. Each trip to the thrift store felt like a treasure quest. I found pieces I didn't even know I needed, like a mid-century mirror, a brass candelabra, and a faded oil painting. These unexpected finds added layers of beauty and surprise. Thrifting is about patience and curiosity, and it rewards you with stories, savings, and one-of-a-kind charm. Plus, there's something so satisfying about rescuing something once forgotten. When working with only heirlooms and thrift finds, you'll naturally mix styles, and that's the beauty of it. I paired mid-century chairs with a Victorian sideboard, a rustic bench with a gilded mirror. It might sound chaotic, but when done thoughtfully, it creates a layered, lived-in look. The key is balance and cohesion through color, tone, or texture. Your home becomes a reflection of time rather than a single trend. It's curated, collected, and deeply personal. Color was another element that organically evolved through this challenge. From warm woods to faded florals, soft creams, and antique greens, the palette felt grounded and nostalgic. These weren't modern pops of color, but time-washed hues that whisper stories. It's a softer, gentler approach to decorating. Instead of forcing a palette, I let the items speak for themselves, and surprisingly, they harmonized beautifully. The result was a warm, cohesive home with a naturally vintage rhythm. One of the biggest rewards of this challenge was knowing I was decorating sustainably. By avoiding fast decor and embracing what already exists, I drastically reduced waste. No packaging, no new manufacturing, no shipping footprints. And yet, the impact was huge. My home feels richer, more grounded, and visually compelling, without the cost to the planet. It's proof that style and sustainability can absolutely go hand in hand. And it all started with a simple decision to reuse. As I moved through each room, styling with intention and memory, something shifted. The house began to feel less like a showcase and more like a storybook. I noticed I lingered longer in each space. I smiled more. I touched things with more care. It wasn't just a decor shift, it was emotional. Surrounding yourself with meaningful pieces changes how you live in a space. It makes you more present, more appreciative, more connected. Some of my favorite pieces surprised me. A chipped ceramic lamp with a brass base became a centerpiece. A faded floral painting I almost passed over now hangs proudly in the hallway. Even a slightly rusted wire basket adds character and texture. These items would have been overlooked in a retail setting, but here they shine. They remind me that beauty isn't always pristine. Sometimes it's the flaws that make something feel the most alive. The overall feeling of my home after this challenge? Cozy, comforting, and completely me. There's a sense of peace that comes from being surrounded by things that have meaning. The textures, the stories, the aged charm, they all contribute to an atmosphere that feels deeply nurturing. It's not about perfection or matching sets. It's about comfort rooted in memory. That's the kind of cozy that lasts. I've shared bits of this challenge on my social media, and the response has been incredible. So many of you have messaged me saying you're inspired to try this in your own homes. That's what this is all about: sparking creativity, rethinking what's possible, and encouraging each other to style with intention. Whether it's a family heirloom or a $3 thrift store find, everything has potential to add magic to your space. This challenge taught me patience, perspective, and the power of storytelling through design. It reminded me that home isn't about trends, it's about truth, about creating a space that reflects who you are, where you come from, and what you love. I discovered that limitations can lead to the most creative outcomes, and that every item we surround ourselves with can hold meaning, if we let it. Would I take on this challenge again? In a heartbeat. It reignited my love for design in a completely new way. I felt like a curator, not just a decorator. I felt connected not only to the pieces but to the people who once owned them. And while I love browsing new decor like anyone else, this experience showed me that home can be built on heritage and heart, not just aesthetics. As I walk through my home now, each room feels like it's breathing. Not just styled, but lived in, loved, and layered. There's charm in every corner, and a story behind every object. It's a home that feels alive, and that's something no store can sell. I hope this walkthrough has inspired you to see your own items differently, to pull treasures from the past and place them proudly in the present. Thank you so much for joining me on this heartfelt decor journey. If this video has inspired you, I'd love to hear your stories. What heirlooms do you cherish? What thrifted finds have transformed your space? Remember, home isn't built in a checkout line. It's built in the moments, the memories, and the meaning we give to the things we surround ourselves with. Until next time, happy decorating, and may your home always be a reflection of your heart.